Well, welcome to Live Talk, the Juice of Africa. How are you doing, man?
Thank you very much, my brother. It's a pleasure to be on this highly esteemed platform so that we can also cross-pollinate ideas. It's always a pleasure talking to you, my brother. Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to the viewers.
Perfect. Would you mind giving a brief introduction of who you are and what you do so that those that don't know you can familiarize with you?
Sure. Thanks very much. My name is Charlene Prazen Chikomo, well known as the Juice of Africa. The name Juice there simply means a leader. And the way the Africa there simply means where the brand is coming from, not that we are going to end or we are limited by the geographical bounds of the African continent. But, you know, we're manufactured in heaven, assembled in the African continent, then distributed to the world as a global shapers. So I'm the founder of a progressive organization called Juice Leadership Initiative, which is a platform where young people are able to discover, develop, and unleash their potential in order to create a generation of highly impactful leaders. Now, you and I would agree that for a leader, there are three fundamental stages. Stage number one is the ability to discover yourself. You see, many people are quite aware of the best footballers in the world, best athletes in the world, best presidents, but they are not aware of themselves. So we are saying, of all the books you can read, of all the things that can entertain you, it is very important for you as a leader to have the ability to lead yourself before you lead others, because leading others is actually a graduation of the ability to lead yourself. So there is a discovery stage, and the second stage is what we call the developmental stage. In the Juice Leadership Initiative, we believe that we don't need to give ourselves to the world role. We need to make sure that whatever skill, whatever talent, whatever passion and purpose that we have, we go to the level of developing it before we take it to the world, so that we don't want to sell ourselves raw. For raw products are always cheaper and less valued than finished products. Then the last stage is that which we are inspired by one of the greatest leaders to live on earth. May his soul rest in peace. Dr. Myles Munroe, who told us that the richest place actually in the world is the grave, because in the grave there are musicians who never sang, there are leaders who never lead, there are a lot of people who align with talent and rich purposes there. So we don't want to make our graves rich. So in order to stop that situation where if there are artists, they continue to sing in the talent, we are saying unleash your potential. If you are a leader, unleash your potential. If you are a singer, unleash your potential. If you are a dancer, unleash your potential. So it's a threefold organization that focuses on discovering yourself, developing yourself, and unleashing your potential. Of course, we have 5 pillars, which is the Juice Academy, the Community Fund, the Leadership Initiative, the Hope of Nations. We can always talk about that another day. But yeah, as Charlene Chikomo, I'm an author, I'm a transformational speaker, a minister of the Word of God as well, and I'm not ashamed of his gospel. I love also inspiring the youth with his word, because I believe the manufacturer's manual is always the right manual for the product. And I'm also a speaker. I enjoy listening. I enjoy also leading. I don't just enjoy consuming information, but also sharing from the little that I am. But above all, I remain an ordinary man, but who is in the hands of a mighty and extraordinary God who continues to use us all.
Well, lovely. Now, from my observation, I've realized that you're somebody who's quite particular about the people you bring in your inner circle. Now, can you just tell us about the power of association and the impact that those people you bring in your inner circle have upon your life?
My brother, I want to say that association is everything. We cannot talk about anything without talking about association. I've seen that normally when people talk about association, they just talk about the people around you. But there is more to that. First of all, actually, we need to agree that the people around you, it's true that they can either make you or they destroy you. They can either increase you or destroy you. So the first thing, that is the general truth that is there. But what we need to agree when we're talking about association, number one, let's ask the around 4 to 5 questions. Who is around you? There's a first question. We are not talking about the name. What do they do? What are they about? What are they passionate about? Who are they? The first question is a who question. The second question is why are they in your life? The third question is when are they in your life? And how are they related to you? And for what purpose are they in your life? So those key questions are very important. So you can see that all these questions comes from a fundamental stage, which is the ability to identify yourself as a person. You see, you cannot talk about association if you as an individual have not been able to associate with yourself so that you can understand who do you need to associate. So many people want friends, want girls, want to date girls, for instance. Stop dating someone's daughter before dating yourself, because you will then date someone's daughter without an understanding of who you are. So you will be a problem in that relationship. Don't go to search for business partners without yours, because you cannot go for partners if you don't have one. What are you about? So that it is your identity, my brother, that determines who you need in your life and at what time, for what purpose, and how are they going to be related to you. So we have an identity crisis amongst the young people, where they don't have an understanding of who they are, but they want to be in associations. So if you are a goat and you don't know that you are a goat, you will end up in an association with hyenas and they will eat you. If you are a lion and you don't know that you are a lion, you will end up playing with the elephants and you will be eating grass and die. So it is the understanding of your relationship, of yourself first, that mushrooms into associations, because associations are born out of identities. They always say birds of the same feathers flock together. So it is you first to understand your feathers before you flock. So when you understand your feathers, you know where to flock to, who to flock with, when to flock. So it's a whole understanding. It comes back to the identity issue. Now, when we come from the identity issue, when you are able to know your strengths, your weaknesses, your purpose, your passion, your interest, what you are really passionate, what you are prepared to die for, from there you can sit down and say, who do I need in my life? So you are using the template that you have created for your own life, which is called the identity template, to determine who do you need to get there. And for what purpose it's written in your identity template that you need them. Number 3, when do you need them, my brother? That is one of the most key issues there. Many people just want people to be with them, but the question is when. There are certain people that are in our lives for a certain phase, not for the whole of your life. So many of us will be disappointed, heartbroken when they leave, not knowing that they were not there to last forever, but they were there for A to B, not C to D. Life is a phase, is full of phases. Some people are for phase 1, some people are for phase 2. It is a problem for a man to think that a phase 1 man is a phase 3 man. Yes, they are lifetime disciples, but not all. Some are for a certain phase. So you also need to understand the timeline of your relationship, so that when it ends, you won't be disappointed, but you can actually celebrate yourself for that. And how are you even connected to those people? It's equally important. But you know, my brother, as I conclude on this opening statement, I just want to say, you see, I come from a very Christian background, and from there we are taught, or we are told about Jesus. When he selected his disciples, you will first of all figure out that there is no single disciple that selected him. He is the one who selected them. Number 2, he did not start by selecting the disciples. He fasted by himself. He was baptized by himself. He attended the temple by himself. Why? The time to identify yourself is very important before you get to people, because it is your identity that will determine, do you need Judas Iscariot? Do you need Peter? Do you need James? Do you need all that is born out of what you want to do, your purpose in life? And number 2, Jesus selected the people. You are the one with the cards here. Play your cards. Don't allow people to choose you. Choose them so that you know who do you need and for what purpose. For these connections, these associations will either make you or decrease you. So you need to be very careful, for it's a choice. But I'm sure you are not ready to make a choice that is not going to work.
Wow, thank you for the powerful insights. Now, my next question is, how best can one select friends that will help them to get where they want to get? Moreover, how best can one make an audit amongst all the friends that they already have?
The first thing on that is you attract what you are. That people must not forget that it is only a magnet that can attract a magnet, or it is an iron bar that can be attracted to a magnet, not a wood. So what we are saying there is, I was giving somebody an example that, let's say if Marriage. Let me take a scenario of marriage. Let's say marriage was like this. When you're about to get married, you getting God creates somebody like you to get married. Would you marry you? So that is a deep question to say. If we just create, let's say you're a boy, my brother here, and we create a girl just like you, will you marry her? So the first thing that I want people to understand is this. The people who are around you are a confirmation of the level you are in. It is only eagles who can go up there and not snakes. So your level as an individual is a good confirmation of why the people who are around you are there. That's number one. You don't need to go and chase people. The level itself and the level of order and the line in which you are trekking in chases people by its own. See, there was a time when I was not a founder of an organization. I was just a little guy marauding up and down the streets with no purpose, with nothing and nothing. The people who were around me were drunkards, were people who were not even thinking about life, not talking about anything, dropping trousers and everything. But the time when I started to have this vision of justifying the African continent and the world at large, you realize that the people I started to get are actually the people in line with what I wanted to do. So first thing I just want to tell people is that perfection on your side will lead to perfection on your association. The people who are around you are brought by the level you are zoning in. So that thing of self-evaluation, of having order as a person, self-leadership as a person is very, very important as stage number one. Now, stage number two, your networking skills, right? You know, connections are actually made. You see, the problem we have as people is actually to try and think that things are happening by themselves. We need to plant this thing. If you don't plant, you don't harvest. If you don't plant, you don't harvest. So you also as an individual, you have a role to play in number one, your contacts that you have in your phone. When if we are to scroll from A to Z and say, tell me why this contact is here, do you have an explanation as to why that? Simple things like contacts. Why do you have them? Your contacts are your contracts. So if you have your contacts in your phone book is your business book. So you need to understand why those contacts are in your phone, because your connections are going to come out of the places you go to. Don't expect to go to a place where people are smoking weed there and people are just doing what they're doing and then expect to come up with people with morals. You know where you are. So your place, what are the places that you are found in? So you also as an individual, do you attend business conferences and take people's business cards and make friends with people? Connections are made with you. You are actually the one to make them. At your school, you are busy breaking. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to reach out to people. You are just by yourself. No man is an island to himself. So the places you visit, it's themselves. Your phone book itself, social media platforms themselves. There are a lot of connections that can be made. So the fundamental thing is what are the places you are going to. And then the third thing that I would say, which I have seen is also important, is by all means to try and connect with people who have the same ideal, the same vision with you. But now you can be asking me, so what do I do with those who just come without any invitation? Yes, they are gate crashers in life, but if they are able to peer pressure you, to dilute you, to follow them, what stops you from diluting them? I remember there are a lot of people who have been in my life, not for business, not for everything, but I've managed to turn them into leaders and to turn them into great people that I also look up to now. So some people, they come into our life that we can also change them. Not that we just need people who are in our sphere, who are in the same level with us, but we also need people even who are down, people who are even lost, to try and change them and make them the disciples and also make them believe in what we believe, but also make them have the ability to, discover, develop, and unleash their potential. I don't know if I've answered your question.
You have nailed the question, my brother. Thank you very much for being with us today. We hope to have you next time.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's such a great honor to be on this platform with my brother, Anes Hove. You are the big fish, man. I appreciate everything that you are doing. You are the people that the world has been waiting for. I just want to leave you with the quotation that was said by the great Fanon, who said, each and every generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or destroy it. We are not ready to destroy. It's a generational wake-up call. Thank you very much for joining the generation in sharing the knowledge. For if we lack this knowledge, we can perish. And thanks to your viewers, people who take time to go through these things. They are the ones who make us speakers. There's no speaker without an audience, and there's no audience without a speaker. We complement each other. Thank you very much.